Hey, good morning. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And all right, today is the official start of college football season. Today is week 0. There's 3 or 4 games coming on TV tonight. I did a preview on those videos yesterday, but I still have a few team previews that I've got to get wrapped up, and I'm going to try to do it this weekend. So there'll be a series of videos posted over the next couple of days, today and tomorrow. I'm going to try to get 3 or 4 out today. I'm going to try to get 3 or 4 out tomorrow and wrap up these previews so that on Monday I can start the normal routine of what I do during the season. Monday will be my first top 10. So I'll have a top 10 list on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will all be preview and matchup videos of games coming up next weekend. On Friday, I'll make my Georgia video, and then, of course, I make videos at different points during the day on Saturdays during the season, reactions to games, things like that. So anyway, you'll see this same intro. I'm not going to re-record this intro for all these preview videos I'm doing this weekend, so you'll see the same intro over and over again over the next, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos, and we're going to preview as many teams as I can get done over the next 2 days. Enjoy. All right, here we go. Up now is Kennesaw State. Shout out to Patreon member Brandon S. Brandon S. requested a Kennesaw State preview over on the Patreon page. So Brandon S., really appreciate your support in the channel. This preview is for you, sir. Shout out to Tomato Mouth from the comment section. Todd, thank you, sir, for supporting the Patreon page. Todd signed up a couple of days ago after I quit taking preview suggestions on the Patreon page because I didn't have enough time to do any more, sir. But Todd, if you'll email me, I will make it right for you, sir. Email me, and I'll make sure next week when I'm doing my matchup videos for week 1's games next week, I'll do any 2 games that you want me to do during the week next week during those matchup videos. So email me, sir. But shout out to all the Patreon members. But Brandon S., this Kennesaw State preview is for you, sir. Okay, Kennesaw State out of the Big South Conference, right? Won the Big South last year, didn't they? 12-2, first place in the Big South. Head coach Bohannon going into his 4th year, 26-10 overall record there. Really, really good season last year, and you'll see why in just a minute when I go through some of these stats here. A top 10 defense, okay? Number 1 in turnover margin, number 1 in rushing, and number 2 in third down conversions. If you don't even look at a team's record, if you don't even look at the name of the team, if I just tell you I have a team here that had a top 10 defense, had the number 1 turnover margin, was number 1 in rushing, and number 2 in third down conversions, you would say, well, that team was pretty good, right? Well, you were right. Like I mentioned, 12-2. They returned 18 starters from that team back to the team this year, so they're going to have another great season this year for sure. They had 6 players. I told you they were number 1 in rushing. They had 6 players on their team last year. Average over 300, not average. They had 6 players on their team last year over 300 yards rushing. That means they spread the ball around, and a lot of big-time playmakers running the ball on that offense. Okay, let's put the schedule up on the screen here, and we'll go through it game by game. Hard to improve on 12-2. We'll see if they can do it. Rivalry game, sort of, week 1. Kennesaw State, of course, a suburb of Atlanta. They play technically on the road at Georgia State. Georgia State, of course, a college in downtown Atlanta. So not really a road game, even though technically Georgia State's the home team. Both these teams located basically in Atlanta. I think you lose to Georgia State. I think you start out 0-1. But, I mean, this is going to be a good game here. It should be a sellout, I would think, with both teams being local there. Really good game, but I got to give the edge to Georgia State in this one. I think you start 0-1. That's the bad news if you're Kennesaw State. The good news is everything else is a win. I mean, okay, at Tennessee Tech, that's a win. It's on the road. maybe there's a 15 to 20% chance you lose that game, but I don't see it happening. You beat them. And then you get a string of home games against Alabama State, win. Clark Atlanta, win. Samford, win. Now, Samford, now this could be a good game here. You get them at home. That's a big benefit here. Samford's a top 10 team. You'll be a top 10 team too, but Samford a top 10 team. So this one technically, I guess, could go either way, but I'm going to give you the edge here, having this game at home. Samford traveling all the way from Alabama to play this game. Bless. But so I got you winning. Presbyterian, win. Now you got a couple of road games at Gardner-Webb and at Charleston Southern. You should handle both of those teams without a problem here. So, I mean, yeah, you lose week 1 to Georgia State, but you're on a what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game win streak now. Home against Campbell. What is that? You're actually playing a cup of soup here, and you'll beat them like a cup of soup. You win that game on the road at Monmouth. Again, what are we even talking about here? You will win that game. Now, this is going to be a big game here to end the season. Jacksonville State, they actually play today in another big game against North Carolina A&T. Some of you are probably watching this game around the time that this video is uploading later today, which will be now today by what time you're watching it, or yesterday if you're watching it tomorrow. How confused are you now? Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, Jacksonville State, another top 10 team. You'll still be in the top 10 at this point. I don't think it's going to hurt you that you lose to Georgia State to open the season. You reel off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11 wins there. The only loss I see here is at Georgia State, and I'll be honest, it's possible you win that game. 18 returning starters off of that team. I mean, I'm going to say this again because this is unbelievable here. A top 10 defense. Number 1 in turnover margin. Number 1 in rushing. Number 2 in third down conversions. Anybody that can do that is going to have a lot of success. And like I mentioned, you did 12-2 last year. You'll be hot again this year. You could very easily beat Georgia State, but I'm going to count that as a loss, but your only loss. 18 starters back off of that team. Unbelievable. 6 players on your team that ran for over 300 yards last year. So looks like a great year for Kennesaw State. Shout out to any Kennesaw State fans that are out there. I know there's a lot of people in the Atlanta area that watch these videos. If you get a chance to make it to a Kennesaw State game this year, let me know how they look, and I will see you guys on the next preview. Have a good morning.